He found the leather wallet under the back seat, fat with cards and cash. The name on the ID, Graham Sterling, the billionaire everyone in the city knew. Noah Reed, a night shift taxi driver with tired eyes, did what honest men do. He drove straight to the Sterling Tower to return it. In the lobby's gold light, Noah opened the wallet to find a family photo. And his breath died. It was his wife and little boy, the two he buried 3 years ago after a hit and run. The floor tilted. The past roared back. Why was their photo in his wallet? If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe. Chicago After Midnight is a chorus of wet tires and neon sighs. Noah Reed worked these hours because grief sleeps then, or at least pretends to. He'd trained himself to watch mirrors, to keep a thermos of coffee warm, to say, "Take your time," when drunks fumbled for cash. Around 1:40 a.m., a black-suited man with rain on his shoulders slid into the back seat. No destination at first, just breath heavy like he'd run from something. "Sterling Tower," the man finally said, voice clipped. He stared out at the river, phone face down. 10 minutes later, the tower rose. Glass, money, and power. The man shoved a $100 bill through the divider. "Keep the change." Door slammed. He vanished inside, swallowed by revolving doors. Noah exhaled. The night moved. He turned to wipe fog from the back window and saw it, a wallet almost hidden under the seat. He picked it up, now heavy, expensive, the kind you don't forget. He flipped it open for an ID. Graham Sterling. Not an assistant. Not a cousin, the man. The city's golden spine. Noah considered keeping it till morning, but the idea curdled. He'd taught his son once and to return what isn't yours. So he parked by a hydrant and walked into the lobby, shoes squeaking on marble. Security glass reflected him. A man in a patched jacket holding proof of wealth in both hands. "Can I help you?" the desk guard asked. "Found this in my cab," Noah said. "Mr. Sterling's." "Leave it. We'll log it." Noah hesitated. Something about the man's eyes said the wallet might fall into other pockets. "I'll wait," he said. "Make sure he gets it." He opened the wallet to check the ID again, and saw a family photo tucked behind a card. One glance, one heartbeat. His world cracked. His Maya, his Theo. The exact picture from their last picnic and the one that went missing after the crash. Noah staggered back, the lobby lights too bright. "How the hell?" he whispered. A lobby chair caught him. He sat hard, knuckles white around leather. The photo wasn't similar. It was the photo. Maya's wind-tangled hair, Theo's superhero sticker on his cheek, Noah's hand just out of frame, the lake behind them lit like an old promise. After the funeral, that frame had disappeared from their apartment. Noah assumed grief made thieves of movers, or that he himself had lost it in the hurricane days. Now it looked back at him from a billionaire's wallet. "Sir?" The guard leaned over the desk. "You okay?" Noah tucked the photo back with shaking fingers. "I need to give this to Mr. Sterling in person." "That's not possible at this hour." "Then call his assistant." Moments stretched. Another guard appeared. "Problem?" Noah kept his voice steady. "No problem. I'll return it in the morning." He slid the wallet into his jacket, turned and stepped into the rain. Each drop felt like a small interrogation. He drove aimlessly along the river, wipers ticking. He replayed the night of the accident. Headlights screech. A body that shouldn't be so quiet. Their boy's tiny shoe in the road. The car that never stopped. The police who said, "We'll do what we can," and then didn't. A paint chip they couldn't match. A camera that didn't work that night. A case that dried up like spilled coffee. Noah pulled to the curb. He took out the photo again. On the back, in Maya's handwriting, "Summer we promised forever." He pressed it to his chest. He had returned a stranger's wallet and found a doorway into his own dead life. His phone buzzed. "Unknown number," he answered. "Noah Reed?" A clipped voice. "This is Claire from Sterling Holdings. You have something of Mr. Sterling's." Noah looked at the wallet. "Yes." "Bring it to the executive entrance at 8 a.m. You'll be compensated." "Compensated," he repeated like the word had bones. He hung up. The city kept raining, washing nothing clean. He whispered to the empty cab, "Maya, what did he take from us?" Then he gripped the wheel and chose for the first time in a long time not to look away. At 7:58 a.m., Noah parked by the service dock where deliveries and problems slip in unseen. A woman in a slate suit, Claire, waited with two security men, the kind who swallow rooms. She offered a careful smile. "Mr. Reed, thank you for your integrity." Her eyes flicked to his jacket. "May I?" Noah held the wallet but didn't release it. "I'll give it to Mr. Sterling. Mr. Sterling's in meetings." The smile didn't move. "He asked me to handle it." She held up a slim envelope. "A token of appreciation." "Not necessary." Noah's voice surprised him. "But I'm not handing this over until I see him." The security guys shifted. Claire's smile thinned. "Let's not make this complicated. It already is." Noah opened the wallet just enough to slide out the photo. He held it up. Claire's pupils tightened. "Where did he get this?" Noah asked. She recovered quickly. "I wouldn't know. It disappeared from my apartment after my wife and son were killed." Each word was a slow blade. "Why does your boss carry it?" "Mr. Reed," she said softly, "you're grieving. People donate photos at memorials. Perhaps he took it." Noah heard how wild it sounded, didn't care. "He took it and he knows something." Claire lowered her voice. "Give me the wallet. I'll bring Mr. Sterling down." Noah weighed the lie. Then he handed it over, keeping the photo in his palm. Claire didn't argue. She disappeared into a private elevator with one guard. The other lingered, pretending not to watch Noah's clenched fist. Minutes bled. Noah stared at a freight door where a red light blinked like a heartbeat. When the elevator returned, Graham Sterling stepped out, immaculate, composed, the kind of man weather doesn't touch. He took in Noah like he was scanning a quarterly report. "Mr. Reed," he said. "Thank you." He extended a hand. Noah didn't take it. Noah held up the photo. "Why do you have this?" A flicker, there and gone, crossed Sterling's face. "I collect found photographs," he said. "They remind me of—" He searched for a word. "Humanity." "Try again," Noah said. Sterling glanced at Claire. She stared at the ground. "If there's something else you need, we can arrange. I need the truth." Noah's voice shook. "Did you hit them?" Silence widened. Somewhere a truck banged a ramp. Sterling finally said, "This conversation is over." He turned. "Claire, see Mr. Reed out." The door closed between Money and the man who wouldn't sell. Noah stood in the loading bay holding a picture of a life that refused to stay buried. He drove straight to the precinct and asked for Detective Alvarez. The only cop who'd looked him in the eye after the crash. Alvarez found him a plastic chair and 2 coffees that tasted like coins. "You look worse," Alvarez said. "I found this in Sterling's wallet." Noah slid the photo across. Alvarez's jaw locked. "How?" "He left his wallet in my cab. His assistant called me to return it." He wouldn't explain. Alvarez rubbed his face. "Noah, you know how this city works." "I know my wife and son are dead," Noah said, steady. "And a billionaire is holding our last summer." Alvarez stared at the photo, then at the wall behind Noah like answers might be hiding there. "We had fragments of metallic blue paint," he said slowly. "Rare, new, the kind you can only get on a limited-run car. We had a traffic cam pointed at the intersection, but the footage glitched that week. And then, budget, pressure, you know the drill. I'm sorry." "I don't need sorry," Noah said. "I need a lead." Alvarez sighed. "There's a parking garage 2 blocks from the crash site. Privately managed. Their cameras weren't on city networks." He wrote an address on a napkin. "You didn't get this from me." Noah drove to Riverview Garage, a concrete throat-swallowing car since the 80s. The attendant, an older man with a crossword and a patient gaze, looked up. "Help you?" "I'm looking for footage from 3 years ago. Night of June 19th. A blue limited-run coupe with front-end damage might have pulled in." The man laughed without humor. "We don't keep footage that long unless someone asks us to." "Did someone?" Noah asked a pause. A glance at the camera over his shoulder. "A lawyer." "Very smooth. Paid cash to erase a week. Do you remember the car?" The man's eyes softened. "I remember the driver. Hands that didn't shake when they should have." He slid a key across the counter. "Storage room." Sometimes erasing isn't erasing. Noah found dusty drives in a labeled box. June 19, archival. On a flickering monitor, he scrubbed through hours. Rain, headlights. At 10:43 p.m., a metallic blue coupe slid in. The front grille was cracked. The driver got out. He didn't look up at the camera. He didn't need to. Noah knew that profile now. Graham Sterling. Noah's breath trembled. "Got you," he whispered. Noah carried copies of the footage like they were a second heart. He met Alvarez in the back booth of a diner that smelled of coffee and old hopes. They watched the grainy clip twice, Sterling's silhouette, the busted grill, the timestamp that lined up with siren logs. Alvarez blew out a breath. This is enough to reopen. He tapped the screen. But it won't be pretty. They'll chew you. His lawyers will say the footage is fake, the timestamp altered, the garage manager compromised. Let them, Noah said. I'm done being quiet. His phone buzzed, unknown. He answered. Noah Reed. Sterling's voice polished steel. You've been busy. So have you, Noah said. Come to my office, Sterling said. No lawyers. Just us, Alvarez shook his head. Don't go alone, but Noah went. Because he needed to hear it without the armor. In the office with the 70th floor view, Sterling stood with his back to the city. He didn't pretend this time. He placed the photo on the desk, face up. I kept this because I couldn't throw it away. You kept it because you stole it, Noah said. Sterling's jaw worked. I went back the next morning, he said quietly. There were flowers, photos. I picked this up because your wife was smiling. I didn't know why I took it. Maybe to punish myself. Maybe to remember that I had stolen something from you whose price I could never pay. Her life, Noah said. His life. Sterling nodded once, a tiny movement like a hinge giving. I called a fixer. He made things disappear. I told myself it was to protect my family, my shareholders, thousands of employees. That was the story I bought to sleep. Did you sleep? Noah asked. Sterling's eyes were glass. No. Then don't now, Noah said. He slid a USB across the desk. Here's what the world will see. Sterling looked at the skyline, at the small boats crawling like regrets. What do you want? The truth. Out loud, Noah said. And a name on a foundation that keeps other families from ending like mine. Sterling closed his eyes. Tomorrow, he said. At the gala. Tonight, Noah corrected. Before you find your courage gone. The Sterling Foundation Gala was everything grief hates. Bright, loud, dressed in sequins. A string quartet tried to make money sound like virtue. Cameras napped until the speeches. Noah stood in the shadows near the service entrance, the place he understood. Alvarez was somewhere in the room. So was Claire, spine straight, eyes searching. Sterling approached the podium under a chandelier that looked like frozen rain. The room hushed. He began with the script, growth, gratitude, philanthropy, and then he stopped. He looked down at his hands like they belonged to someone else. He swallowed. I have an obligation tonight not to charity but to truth. Heads tilted. Claire froze. 3 years ago, Sterling said, the microphone amplifying breath. I made a choice that destroyed a family and then I made another to protect myself. A murmur moved through silk. I was the driver in a hit and run that killed Maya and Theo Reed. The room gasped like one mouth. Somewhere a glass broke. I hid, he said. I paid to make evidence disappear. I told myself I did it for you, for the company, for the employees who rely on us. But really I did it because I was afraid. He looked directly toward the wings where Noah stood. I kept a photograph from their memorial because I didn't know how else to carry what I'd done. Noah stepped forward into the light. People turned, cameras woke, a wave of faces. Alvarez moved to the aisle, badge a quiet warning. Sterling's voice frayed. Mr. Reed, I'm sorry. Those are small words for a wound this large, but they are the only ones I can begin with. I will surrender myself to authorities tonight, and the foundation will be renamed for Maya and Theo Reed. It will fund road safety, grief counseling, and legal aid for families who cannot fight men like me. Silence. Then 100 voices at once. Questions, flashes, outrage, relief. Noah stood very still, the photo in his pocket like a pulse. He had imagined revenge 1,000 times. This felt different. Truth, heavy as rain, finally falling. He nodded once. Not forgiveness, not yet. Permission for the next step. Police lights painted the marble. Sterling didn't run. Overnight, the city performed its ritual. Headlines, analysis, venom, and virtue. Some called Sterling brave for confessing. Others called him a coward for waiting 3 years. Noah didn't read the comments. He sat on a park bench at dawn, the one where Theo once fed pigeons with a scientist's curiosity. Alvarez sat beside him with 2 coffees. He's in custody, he said. No bail tonight. DA wants maximum. Noah nodded. Will any of that bring them back? No, Alvarez said. but it might stop the next man from thinking a fix is easier than a truth. They watched morning peel the sky open. Noah took out the photo and traced the edge where the frame had once held it. He had promised himself never to be the man who carries a wound like a weapon. Today he felt something shift, weight redistributing to a place he could carry without breaking. Claire approached, steps careful. She looked smaller without the building around her. "I knew pieces," she said softly. "Not enough. Too much." Noah's face didn't harden. "You helped anyway," he said. It wasn't a question, she nodded. "I made sure the garage footage survived. It was the only thing I could hide from the machine." Her voice trembled. "I'm leaving the company." "Do something good with the part of you that hurt?" Noah said. She managed a brittle smile. "You too." By afternoon, the Maya and Theo Reed Foundation had a placeholder site. Donations poured in faster than outrage. Noah met with counselors, advocates, a traffic engineer with tired eyes who said, "We can fix this intersection." For the first time since the crash, his days had direction that wasn't only backward. He walked home at dusk and placed the photo on the mantel of a small apartment that didn't feel empty anymore. "You see this, kiddo?" he whispered. "We moved something." 3 months later, the courtroom air smelled like old wood and simmering nerves. Sterling stood before the judge in a plain suit that fit like an apology. The gallery was full, and reporters, employees, strangers who liked to watch endings. Noah sat in the second row, hands folded, Alvarez a quiet anchor beside him. The prosecutor laid out the story with the clean edges of law. The defense conceded almost everything. The crash, the flight, the fix. Sterling's voice didn't rise when he said, "Guilty, Your Honor." It didn't waver either. Before sentencing, the judge offered Noah the microphone. He stood, knees briefly watery, then firmed. "My wife," he began, "believed in small kindnesses. She believed they changed the shape of a day, sometimes a life. The man who killed my family kept our photograph because he couldn't throw away what he stole. That doesn't make him good. It makes him human in a way I can't ignore." He glanced at Sterling. "I want a sentence that says to the next powerful man, you cannot buy your way out. And I want a world where a hit and run doesn't get buried because someone has better lawyers. If this court can help build that world, then Maya and Theo won't be only names on a plaque." The judge nodded, eyes damp and unashamed. She pronounced a custodial sentence, fines that meant something even to a billionaire, and a court-enforced endowment to the foundation. No loopholes, no branding. Just work outside, cameras, and questions. Noah said little. The word justice felt too neat. The word revenge had felt wrong. Emotional justice won't fit, the kind where truth stands up, grief is seen, and something living grows where a grave was. That evening, Noah drove an empty cab along the lake. He pulled over and watched winter sun lay gold on water. He took out the photo one last time and, for the first time, didn't cry. "We did it, Maya," he whispered. "Not perfect enough," the city breathed. So did he. Moral money can delay the truth, not defeat it. Noah learned that justice isn't triumph over a man. It's peace earned with courage. When power finally spoke honestly, grief made room for purpose. In the end, the photo stayed the same. The heart holding it changed forever.